Well, here she is, guys. And it's kind of crazy because this is the last time the C8 Corvette is gonna sound like it does right now. This is a hot idle, but this car is about to get a lot crazier and way louder. We're about to be installing so many things on the C8 Corvette. You guys know this car is my absolute baby. I love it so much, and it's about to be going through the biggest transformation that has ever been on my channel at one time. We've never had so many things that we're about to be installing on the vehicle at one time. So this is about to be a whole lot of fun for both you guys and me. So let's get right into it. We gotta get this car flipped around because I need it to be turned the other way to actually work on it. And then I'll show you guys everything that we're gonna be installing. And yeah, so we got the C8 turned around, and if you'll notice, it's pretty lifted up in the air already because I have a very old jack and it does not fit up underneath this car to actually lift it up. So to get to the little jacking pucks back here, I have to lift it up on something like either a block of wood or the tile like I used right there. And I'm actually getting a little bit ahead of myself because I still have to show you guys what we're doing to this car. We got 3 mods that we're gonna be installing, so let me just go ahead and show you guys what I got. Now, first up, we have a set of Euro style color changing RGB taillights for the C8, and you guys can notice that it is a very dark finish with kind of clear taillights versus the factory ones. Now these factory ones do have some tint on the reverse and the actual indicator lights and whatnot, and then obviously the boomerangs are red. On these, the boomerangs are kind of a gray color, and then you have the clears, and the boomerangs on these new tail lights change to whatever color you want with this little RGB module that we're gonna be installing. So these are super cool. I got these from Paragon Performance, obviously. Next up, we have a rear diffuser from Veris Engineering. And yes, it is metal. The fins look super aggressive, and it is just going to make the rear bumper pop out even more than it already does. It has some really cool definition down here, but the new diffuser is gonna go way down here, hang super low to the ground. And finally, guys, the third thing that we're gonna be installing, which is gonna fix an issue that I've had with this car so much, and I'll just go ahead and tell you guys the issue. It's the square exhaust tips. I cannot stand the square exhaust tips on these vehicles. I think they're so ugly. So, you know, the only plausible fix to that is a Paragon titanium exhaust. Yes, guys, this thing's about to get super loud and look super cool while doing it. So all these 3 things all mixed together, we're doing basically a whole rear end overhaul with this vehicle. The entire rear end is gonna look completely different. And guys, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I haven't even done it yet, and I'm already speechless just thinking about how good it's gonna look. Today, my main goal is to get the taillights installed. To start with that, we're gonna need to start removing the rear bumper, because to get these taillights out and to do the exhaust, you gotta remove the rear bumper. So we're gonna get right on that. So first things first, I'm gonna get this side jacked up, pull this wheel off, and pretty much we're gonna have to tackle a bunch of bolts that are in the actual fender well. There's a bunch of bolts on the bottom and up here. Obviously, we'll get to those later. I'm probably gonna leave the top ones for last and just kind of attack everything else. You're supposed to have 2 people to remove this bumper. I'm by myself. We're just gonna figure it out. And yes, this right here is the century-old jack that we're gonna be using to lift this car. I know, guys. He can afford a C8 Corvette. He can't afford a new Harbor Freight low-profile jack. Yeah, whatever. All right, and wheel off time. Let's see if I can get it with one hand. Oy. So I believe I have everything pretty much loose. We should just be able to, oh, there's still one more 7 down there. So there. Now we're actually able to kind of get in and access all the bolts that we need to from the rear. This is actually my first time seeing up in here. Well, there's our PCM. That's weird. So I just got all of those, the nut and then the 2 7s out of the way, and we're pretty much already done in here. I'm gonna put the wheel back on and lower it back down on this side, and then of course do the same thing to the other side. But while we have this side kind of lifted up a little bit more than normal, we do also have to take off some little 7mm down here, as well as a couple clips. So I'll do that at the same time. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, guys, y'all aren't gonna believe, but this car has not been washed in probably 4 months. I don't know. It's been really cold. I just haven't been feeling like washing it lately, but it still looks amazing. And that's mainly thanks to the ceramic coating that is on the vehicle. I preach about ceramic coatings on a lot of my social media, guys. It's awesome. Highly recommend it if you do not have it done to your car. It literally keeps this thing looking brand new at all times. I mean, even the rear, which is usually speckled in all the exhaust little black specks. I mean, this is 4 months of driving without any wash and anything. It just blows my mind how clean this car stays. Well, guys, I just removed this little panel on the rear, the one that I was talking about with all the little 7mm and stuff. You can see really good up underneath the car. Well, I noticed that it's a little wet with some type of fluid, as you can see. Hopefully you guys can see. There's a good bit of residue right there. So I get to looking up here, and there's of course more residue on that bolt, and it's pretty wet. Like, it's pretty current. And oh my goodness, look way up there. That is just a bunch of, what kind of fluid is that? It doesn't look like, I can't tell. I can't see very well. I can't tell if that's oil or, oh no, dude, what if it's transmission fluid? Guys, if this is transmission fluid and this car needs a transmission, oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't know what else to do other than just continue removing the rear bumper. We only have a few more things up here. We just got to remove all these little T15s at the top, and then there's like 3 connectors once we actually get the bumper kind of popped off that we got to disconnect. Cause I'm really curious. I can't tell. I can't tell if that is transmission fluid or oil left over from like an oil change. But it looks like it's coming from the transmission case, and that's not good. That's really not good, because I'm pretty sure they make you get a whole new transmission if you have any kind of leaks like that. I think we're gonna get the bumper off, and then I need to do a little bit of research, figure out what type of fluid that is, and pretty much diagnose it, pretty much figure out where it's coming from, and decide if we need to take this car up to the dealership, which would be an absolute bummer. That would suck. All right, all the bolts are out, I'm assuming. So this bumper should be ready to pull off. And then we're gonna do a little bit more investigating, see if we can't figure out what's going on with this car. Now, I have no idea what I'm doing whatsoever with this, guys. We're just gonna kind of wing it. Okay, one side is kind of free. About to start coming down. Oh yeah. Now, I think we're fully free. All right, so here's what we got, guys. The rear bumper is off of the C8 Corvette. I just laid down some sheets from my bed and whatnot to hopefully not scratch any of the bumper itself. It seems pretty sturdy sitting up like that, although I'm probably gonna put something behind it just so it doesn't fall back and the wing scratches on the wood right there. But all in all, really not that difficult. The rear bumper was way heavier than I thought. I'm not gonna lie about that. That was the hardest part. And now we're pretty much gonna be able to, oh, my lights are over here. I was like, where'd they go? We're gonna be able to put those Euro style taillights in here really easy. The taillights on the C8 are bolted up to the rear bumper, so now we can just take out some 7mm, slide those taillights in there, and then obviously we gotta wire up the module. That's pretty much it for the taillights. All right, and just like that, they fold down. Looks like I have one little clip that I need to undo. And just like that, the old taillights are out of the bumper. Well, one of them is. I still gotta get the other one, but they're just so freaking easy. It takes literally 2 seconds once you actually get the bumper off. And here you can see the Euro style taillights up next to the factory red ones. I'm not the biggest fan of the color red, so I'm very happy we're replacing it with these Euro style ones. They just look a lot better. They're gonna blend in with the car a lot better. And once we get the new Euro style taillights bolted up to our bumper, all we really gotta do is install this little module right here. It just needs a power and ground, and then it has those two little connectors that will connect into the RGB portions of each of the taillights on the side. Pretty easy. So all the bolts are tightened on this one taillight. Snap the connector back up in there, push our little red tab, and then I'll give you guys a little sneak peek real quick what it's gonna look like. Won't be very much light back here, but hopefully y'all can get a little idea. It is gonna look freaking sweet once we put this bumper back on. This right here is what I was talking about with the RGB connector. This connects to the module itself. And fast forward a couple of days, this is what the taillights look like fully installed on the vehicle. As you can see, the bumper is now back on the car. I'm not exactly able to show you farther down below because that will be coming in a future video. But this is exactly what the taillights look like. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the lights and then turn on the taillights so you guys can see exactly what they look like with all the cool little animations and whatnot. Now I have my control module for the LEDs wired up to a wireless switch, which means I just have this little key fob that has on and off, and that's basically just gonna control the lights from anywhere. I think it has like a range of 200 feet, so it'll be great for car meets and whatnot. So let me turn off these lights a little bit. Oh, look at that. All right, so lights are turned off for the most part, just a little bit so you can see the car, and we're going to now turn on the lights themselves right here, right now. So it does a little on animation, and then it should go to my last presetted color animation, which is obviously blue. And that looks freaking sweet. The other side obviously does the same thing. And then whenever you're done with your cool little animations at a car meet, you can just go and click off, and just like that, they're back to being normal taillights, which is really cool. I like having this little option. I got this off Amazon. It's just a wireless switch for 12-volt systems. And also for any of you wondering what the turn signals look like, here you have it. I'll be having a lot more videos with these lights and everything, but I'm gonna cut the video here, guys. Be on the lookout for the next one. It's gonna be a huge one. I've already completed it in real time, but y'all are gonna have to wait just a little bit to see everything. But trust me guys, it is 100% worth it, and it's literally right there. And for those of y'all who have not seen my previous video where we do an oil change on the C8, we actually found out the whole leaking situation underneath the car in that video, so I highly recommend you go and watch it. Anyways guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one.